I set myself the challenge to watch every single episode of Doctor Who ever made, from 1963 right up until the modern era. So far we are this far through the 7th Doctor's era, and this far through the show overall. We're in season 25. The Doctor and Ace return to Coal Hill School, where 24 seasons earlier Ian and Barbara were school teachers and Susan was a student. They arrive in the 1960s, mere months after the events of the first episode. We find out that when the Doctor left Gallifrey, he took with him a Time Lord superweapon called the Hand of Omega, which Davros and the Daleks are now in London searching for. When they capture and try to use the device, they find that the Doctor has sabotaged it and hardwired it to destroy the Dalek fleet and Skaro, the Dalek homeworld. There's so much about this story that's important that it's hard to know where to start. Skaro is destroyed, but that's not as important as the fact that the Daleks fly now. But that's not as important as the fact that the Doctor is starting to show a more manipulative, scheming side, planning ahead, not just reacting to danger. But that's not as important as the strain starting to show in the relationship between Ace and the Doctor. But that's not as important as Geoffrey from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air talking to the Doctor about the ripple effect. But all of that pales in comparison to the fact that Ace beat up a Dalek with a baseball bat. Yes, after 25 seasons, after women in cat suits and savages in leathers and Americans in whatever this is supposed to be, the Doctor Who producers have finally managed to figure out sex appeal. The Doctor and Ace visit Terra Alpha, a human colony where sadness is outlawed, but nobody in charge seems to be happy about it. Things like blues music or crying in public will net you a sentence of death by strawberry fondant, the actual execution being carried out by the Candyman, a robot made of candy who can be defeated either by spraying him with lemonade or suing the BBC. Highlights of this story include the TARDIS being painted pink and the Doctor and Ace very slowly getting away.
Ninja, you can drive.
That was a chase scene. No, I'm not kidding. Silver Nemesis sees the Doctor and Ace in the 1980s, facing off against a time-travelling Cavalier Witch, a group of surviving Nazis, and a faction of Cybermen, as all four groups race to recover the pieces of the Nemesis statue, a semi-sentient superweapon. It used to be the case that the Cybermen's weakness was gold, which if you forced it into their ventilation systems, it would corrode them and cause the Cybermen to asphyxiate. In this story, however, the Cybermen can be killed on impact with gold-plated arrows or even just gold coins fired out of a slingshot. Since the weakness seems to be getting worse for them, I can only assume that in the next story the Cybermen will die if you play them Spandau Ballet. Lady Painfort, the witch I mentioned, in an attempt to get control of the Nemesis statue, threatens to reveal the Doctor's greatest secret, more than being just a Time Lord. But the Doctor calls her bluff, and we don't get to hear what she knew. When the statue is eventually reassembled, the Cybermen take control of it, and when they try to use it, they find that the Doctor has sabotaged it and programmed it to destroy the Cybermen fleet. So we have a story here involving the Cybermen, where big secrets of the Doctor's past are brought up, implying the Doctor to be some sort of Time Lord god that would seriously rewrite Doctor Who continuity. You know what this reminds me of? That's right. The Doctor pulled the same trick on the Cybermen that he pulled on the Daleks 2 serials back. Highlights of this story include the Doctor wearing a fez, Ace blowing things up, and an appearance from the Brigadier. That's right, Brigadier, I see you there. You thought you were being sneaky. Inside the TARDIS, in flight, a robot appears to advertise the Psychic Circus, promising exciting acts and fun. Ace isn't tempted, saying that she finds clowns creepy. So the robot calls her a chicken, and they decide to McFly the TARDIS right to the circus. When they arrive, though, they find that this circus is not any ordinary circus. This one has a rapping ringmaster. Oh, and the audience is forced to perform because the circus has been taken over by the gods of Ragnarok, who judge all the acts and kill the ones they don't like. In the time-honoured tradition started by Carnival of Monsters and continued by the Trial of the Time Lord, this is one of those Doctor Who stories where the whole thing is a metaphor for Doctor Who itself, and how the BBC bosses were eager to cancel the show at the time. They even have a geeky character called WizKid there to make fun of obsessive Doctor Who fans. He's obsessed with the circus, collects all the flyers and posters, and even though he's not old enough to have seen it when he first started, he still thinks it's not as good as it used to be. He's right, of course, but shut up, we're making fun of you. The climax of the story sees the Doctor doing magic tricks and dancing for the gods of Ragnarok, while the other captives find a magical amulet that can be used to defeat them. This ends up blowing up the circus, but the performers are just glad to be free. They promise to bring the circus back to its former prime. After taking a 16-year break, doing a couple of charity specials, one TV movie, and then reformatting. That's it for season 25. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you for season 26.